Today I'm going to go over some of the biggest mistakes I made my first year as a real estate agent that I regret to this day. Stay tuned. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having an incredible day. If you don't know, if you're new here, my name is Aram. I'm a real estate agent here in the Chicagoland area, and this video is all about some of the biggest mistakes I made my first year as a real estate agent. Some of them I regret to this day. Some of them are just, a cloud over my head type of situations, right? What ifs, what if I did that? Where would I be today? That's the type of video we're gonna make today. If you end up enjoying it, do me a solid, like the sign says, I wrote this myself, hit the like button, leave a comment with your thoughts and feedback. I reply to every single one of them. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, along with some general real estate tips and tricks and things along those lines. One big mistake that comes to me right away, and I'm gonna be honest, this is like I'm conflicted about this. I regret it, and at the same time, I don't regret it because of the benefits it has brought to me. And that mistake is I wish I had built my business around something I truly enjoy doing day to day. What I mean by this is, if you don't know my story, I built my business through cold calling when I was 21 years old, right? I neglected my sphere. I didn't call any of my friends. I didn't go to parties. I didn't hang out. All I did was wake up early in the morning, go to the office, make my cold calls, do my follow-ups, go on appointments, and not get the listings, right? That was my first year in the business. And I hated every minute of cold calling. I just had the discipline and I had the ambition to just power through it, right? But I was miserable, and that's the cold hard truth. And the thing about this is, I mentioned in my earlier video, I think it's the second to last video I made, this business is 20% actual real estate and 80% lead generation, branding, marketing, accounting, doing your paperwork, all that. That's 80% of the job. So 80% of the time, I wasn't really enjoying what I was doing. And as I get older and I learn new things and I learn new ways to get business, right? And I get clients from different directions, I learned that I didn't have to cold call. Like, I didn't have to go down that route. Now, this is where I'm a little conflicted because cold calling has taught me a lot, right? It's made me an incredible I shouldn't say incredible. It made me a decent salesperson, right? I learned how to follow up. I learned how to have conversations. I learned how to persuade. It forced me to have to read books. It forced me to put myself in uncomfortable positions and adapt. So I don't regret that aspect of it. However, I feel in my heart, if I started the business and from day one I was networking with my friends, hanging out, going to parties, going to events, staying in touch with people, making content like I'm making now, I feel like I would have been leaps and bounds ahead of where I am today. However, you live and you learn, right? I'm still 25 years old, so I can't complain too much, right? So that's one mistake I wish I didn't make. And if you're new to the business, I have a mentee now, and I was in my office, and I was asking him, the first thing I asked him was, how do you want to build your business? Do you want to do it through cold calling? Do you want to do it through open houses? Do you want to do it through your sphere? How do you want to do it? Because that's a huge decision you have to make before day one of the business, to be honest with you. I mean, you can make it at day 3, but just to give you an idea of how urgent it is, you really have to know what business you're trying to build. So that was a mistake I made. And to follow up with that mistake, people say you got to think long term. This is a 3, 4, 5 years down the road type of business. What you do in your first year is just a foundation, a benchmark for you to kind of carry on. I thought at the time, because it's all about perspective, right? My 4th, 5th month in the business, if you talk to me, I would tell you the same thing. I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking 3, 4 years down the road, this, that, and the other. But I wasn't. That's the truth. I was not. My actions didn't show that I was thinking long term. Because my first year in the business, I wasn't building a brand. I wasn't doing any marketing. I wasn't networking. I wasn't tapping into my sphere. I was doing none of these things that people do to build a long-term business. I wasn't building a database. I was just cold calling every day and following up with the people that seemed interested. Horrible, right? The way I can segue this to your situation, if you're a new real estate agent, sit yourself down, quiet room, force yourself to sit there for an hour and ask yourself, what lead generation method do I enjoy doing the most? Are you the type that loves doing open houses? Then go do open houses. If you love being in front of camera, content creation is your best friend. If you hate the camera but you don't mind the phones, hit the phone. Sit down and have that conversation with yourself. So 5 years down the road, you've built a business that you enjoy. And every day you are more consistent, right? You're more fiery. You're developing at a much faster rate. And to bring this back to the cold calling, the reason I wasn't as successful, because I only had 5 closings my first year, was because since I didn't love it, I couldn't commit to that extra level. Like if somebody says I'm not really interested once or twice, I'm hanging up that phone. Or even one time, I'm hanging up the phone, right? I wasn't really like chasing because I didn't enjoy it. But I could make these videos all day, every day. I could be here in the studio for 9 hours, just boom, video after video after video, and it's enjoyable for me. So that's a message I really, really want to get across. Another mistake I made, this mistake I regret. Without question, I regret this mistake. I wish somebody had pulled me aside and kind of checked my ego. Because my first year in the business, I completely overvalued my worth in the marketplace, right? I was this 21-year-old kid with no experience, no knowledge, never sold a house, and I was charging 6% commission, which in my market is a premium rate, right? Like normally you're looking at 5% is normal, right? Everyone's comfortable with 5%. You got to convince them to give you 6. So I'm going in with 6%, and I can't tell you how many, actually I can't tell you how many deals I lost because I went back and counted, with all the appointments I went on, if I count out the ones where they were overpriced or we didn't agree on the price, how many of the listings would I have gone that was just an issue of the commission? It was, I think, it was a number between 17 to 22 listings, and I think the commission on those was $87,000 net, which was on a 50-50 split. So we're looking at $150K commission just disappeared, right? All because my ego wouldn't allow me to see things as they were. I was not worth no 6%. So why was I asking 6%? It drives me crazy to this day. There's something to be said about, knowing your worth, not being a cheap broker. And by no means am I saying discount your rate. But I'm saying if your market is 5%, like my market, then charging 6% is like it's like cutting one of your legs off and then going to war or running a marathon. Why are you making it harder on yourself? Go use both legs, right? So that's another mistake I just wish I didn't make. Moving down the line, because there's a bevy of these, I just want to focus on the ones that are going to help you the most so you can kind of pinpoint and take action on. Follow up and the building of my database, I didn't do a good job of. What I mean by that is, let's say somebody would tell me, hey, in 2 months we may be interested in moving. I would call them in 2 months or maybe in like 6 weeks, right? But the right way to follow up is to call them every 2 weeks, right? Call them frequently, because for all you know, next week they may just be like, you know what, we want to move right now, and Joe down the from Remax just called them at the right time, and poof, there's the deal out of your pocket, right? So that's one mistake that I kind of definitely regret, and it's a mistake I make to this day because it's one of my weaknesses. I can't stand following up. I just like to move forward. I feel like following up is like, it's so weird. It's like backwards, but it's not backwards. It's the most valuable thing you could do. And there's a saying that all the FU money is in the follow-up. Get it? And finally, I will share a mistake that I made that almost every single real estate agent that's new to the business makes, and that is neglecting your sphere. Yep. I mentioned my first year in the business, I went to a closet and I just started cold calling, right? I didn't hang out with my friends. I didn't text anybody to go have a party, or I didn't go to poker nights. I didn't do any of that. I did not network at all. It was pure prospecting every day. And that was a huge mistake, right? Because you never know who's looking to buy. I know friends at 20, 21 years old that would have bought a house if they had just known about me, right? If I had just connected with them and showed them the process. So don't neglect your sphere. And that's kind of going in line to bring it full circle. The mistake I made my first year in the business is I wish I picked a method that I enjoyed doing. I enjoy networking. I enjoy talking to my sphere. I enjoy it. I do it a little bit differently in a sense that I'll go hang out with them. I'm not necessarily calling and be like, hey, just thinking of you. I don't do it that way. But, when they invite me to a party, I go. If I'm doing nothing, I'll text somebody like, hey, let's go grab lunch. Things like that. And I wish I'd built my business that way, because the clientele, the experience, everything is completely different and it's so much less stress. Trust me, you want less stress in this business. It's stressful enough. But that being said, we made it to almost year 4. We're 2 months away from year 4. I am very grateful to make it this far. Even though I made the mistakes, I was able to adapt and overcome and still get here, which goes to show you can really just ruin everything like I did and still get somewhere productive. This year I have, right now as I'm speaking to you, I have 6 pending deals. I got a closing this Friday, and I have, I think, about 15 active clients. So, life is good. I just want to thank everybody for watching. If I can help you in any way, please leave a comment. Let me know, and I'd be happy to do it. Thanks again. Have a great day.